Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Beth. If you are new here, you're probably not. You're probably here after my Renaissance reaction and wondering what I have to say about it now that I've listened to it, you know, probably 10 more times. I have some things, okay? I really did feel like I had to make a follow-up video because my views on this album have just changed dramatically and drastically. Dramatically. That's actually a pretty good word to describe it. While it's not like suddenly my #1 favorite Beyonce album or anything, I think this album is like actually a masterpiece. And so when a couple people suggested that I do a follow-up video, I was like, you know, I kind of do want to do that. So in this video, I'm going to be listening to it for the first time with headphones. Now, I don't know how much of the songs I will end up including, simply because obviously you already saw my initial reaction, and then discuss each song. I'm gonna discuss like my review of the album now that I've given it some more time. I definitely don't think that it's the sound that everyone would enjoy, which no music really is. So obviously when I first listened to this album, if you saw my reaction, you'll know I did not know any of the context going into this album. I did not know that it was ballroom music. I did not know that it was a tribute to queer Black fans. I did not know anything going into this album, really. I kind of wanted to go in with this era of mystery, and I did not want to know a lot about the album beforehand. I avoided spoilers. I avoided like knowing what people thought about the album before I did my reaction. I didn't even listen to much music until I was like middle school, a little bit, and then high school, and I really only listened to like the top radio hits. So I feel like I did not get exposed to music like this. And some people understood that, and I really thank you for that, and some people were a little bit rude about it. But anyway, let's go ahead and listen to I'm That Girl. I still really like this song. I think it is just really cool. I think the flow is really cool. My favorite thing, and something that I just cannot get over how cool it is, are the transitions in between each song. If you just listen to this album in order, you don't even register that it's gone into the next song right away, which is so beyond cool to me. Every song sounds entirely different, but at the same time, they all sound like they belong on this album. That's something that I said in my first reaction and that I still completely agree with. But yeah, I'm gonna put my headphones on. They look kind of dumb. And now I'm gonna have headphone hair, so. On the headphones, I can hear the bass so much more clearly. I definitely think that I should have listened to this album with headphones the first time that I listened to it. I almost did, but I couldn't get it figured out in time, and I didn't want to have to scrap the entirety of my first reaction because obviously like you can't react twice to an album for the first time. But yeah, I can already tell this is a completely different experience. It's so much more clear. It's not the diamonds. And then this comes in and it's everything. It's not the pearls. The oohs are still one of my favorite moments on this entire album. They are just one of the most glorious things I've ever heard. Do you hear the vocals as well? I feel like the first time I was listening to the album, I didn't fully appreciate all the vocals that were happening because the production was so like crazy and I was trying to figure out what was happening, but there are some just insane vocals on this album. Obviously, like, did you hear any of that? And everything next to me is lit up too. The layers. I love that part. It just reminds me of her album Beyonce when she says that. I don't know why. I'm indecent. Let it begin. I'll be pulling up in an attitude of Cadillac with them boys blue thug if I'm my American life flights in these deep flawless skies. That is one of my favorite, probably my #1 favorite section of that song. She just so seamlessly goes into that, but it doesn't feel like it should seamlessly flow into that. The flow of this album is something that I've still not wrapped my brain around because it is so cool. It's just gonna go right into the next song. This a reminder. The flow to Cozy. I look bald. The flow into Cozy. Like, I need you to understand the flow into Cozy is one of my favorite parts of this album. And I love Cozy. Okay, it is still one of my favorites on the album. Oh my gosh, like I just cannot handle the way that it flows into that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like it actually is crazy.
She's a hero. She survived. Might I suggest you don't fuck with my sis? Cause she comfortable in my skin,
Cozy. Once again, just some like beautiful melodies and vocals, and then all of a sudden Cozy. Like I love the way that she does that. It's so stunning, and then all of a sudden it's just like, but it's also a bop. Like honestly, truly, I'm really sad that I didn't like this album more the first time I listened to it. Because I almost feel like I have to confess my sins at the altar. I'm just kidding. But if you don't like this album, that's valid. I'm having a moment.
They hate me because they want me. Down, been up, been broke down, bounce back, been on, been back. What you know about that?
That is one of my favorite parts of this album. Broke down, broke the fuck up. Again, I'm not like super familiar with the lyrics yet, but again, the way she flows into it, it just hits and God, I don't even have words. Yeah, upon first listen, I was really seeing if there was much lyrical depth or like what was going on with the lyrics. I was like, I don't know what's happening lyrically on this album at all, but a few of you guys informed me that this is more of a dance album than anything super deep lyrically. Anyway, God, Cozy.
Be energy. I've been thick, been fine, still a 10, still here. That's all me.
It's just crazy listening to this album again because it's like, it's so much more palatable now that I feel like I have a grasp on it. It's just like a bop. It's so intricate. Another thing that I mentioned when I was reacting was that it felt aggressive and bitter to me. And I think I just got that vibe because this is the most she's ever cursed on an album, I want to say. So it just felt aggressive in terms of the language and the lyrics. I just did not see that coming.
Green eyes, envy me. Purple drink and cold tour gowns. Four fangs and shade God made.
I really love that section too because she uses like a different color at the beginning of each line. It's like one of those repetitive narrative devices. I forget what it's called. Parallels, I want to say.
You hate me, cause you want me.
Another thing that I did not pick up on was her collabs or her samples with other artists. I guess a lot of like Black queer artists were featured and sampled and everything. Now listen and listen good, okay? Alien Superstar grew on me so much. Literally the second time I listened to this album, I was like, wait, I don't hate this. Ooh, I love it now. I think it is such a good use of the sample from I'm Too Sexy. She kind of made it her own and she twisted it. It's just, ooh, it's like a master class in how to sample well.
Do not attempt to leave the dance floor.
Do not attempt to leave the dance floor.
I'm one of one. I'm the only one. Don't even waste your time trying to compete with me.
This is another instance of why I thought it was aggressive. By aggressive, I didn't necessarily mean in a bad way. I just meant it was very like confident. It was very like in your face. Like I'm the only one. Like no one can compete with me. It's just like aggressively confident.
Forever I'm that girl. Feed you diamonds and pearls. Oh baby, I'm too classy.
That is my favorite part of this song.
Drip and trippiness. Patty cake on there is Tiffany blue billboards over the ceiling.
I'm gonna overuse the term flow during this video, but the flow of this song is so cool. You know, I do tend to prefer her more melodic and really big, pretty vocals, but I can definitely appreciate in a different way this type of like the rap singing.
I'm too classy for this world.
I still wanna sing I'm Too Sexy instead of I'm Too Classy. I'm sorry about my hair, but it's not gonna get better.
I'm too classy to be touched. Got diamonds beneath my thighs where his ego will find bliss.
I didn't catch this the first time I listened to the album, but His Ego Will Find Bliss. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs off I Am Sasha Fierce.
We dress a certain way, we walk a certain way, we paint a certain way. We're the out.
Reaching out to the solar system, we flying over up in the air.
First of all, I love the way that she included the sample or the feature of another artist that's saying, we dress a certain way, we talk a certain way. That whole bit. And honestly, I'm not always someone who's for speaking bits in songs. Sometimes it kind of takes me out of the moment and takes me out of the song, but I really love that she incorporated that. And I also really love this whole, like, the vocals and everything just floating. She says air and it just float, like I'm literally floating away when she sings that.
Supernova, power pull me closer.
Like it's so pleasing to the ear with the additions of the really light, airy, gorgeous vocals and melodies over top of that driving bass. It's just everything. Unique. And then it...
I feel like falling in love. I need some drink in my cup. Have you ever had fun like this?
I'm obsessed with this song. This is one of my favorites from the album, at least right now. I love the production on this one too. It's just so boppy, it's so dancey, it's so fun.
Show up, show up, show up, show up. Power up, power up, power up. You Mr. Nasty. I wanna go missing. I need a prescription.
The trumpets. Do you hear the trumpets? I did not register those the first time I listened to this album. A lot of people are saying this album gets better every listen, and I could not agree more. You just realize more things about it, you see more things, you hear more things.
I'm a seasoned professional. Squeeze it, don't let it go. Tease it, got time today. I got time today.
I got time today.
Stage rocking, I'm stuck crazy. Energy.
This next one is really interesting because it feels like an interlude because it's so short. And I love it so much. Now it has grown on me so much more than I can even express.
Just 5, 45, don't get out of line.
Like the vocals, yeah.
Ooh.
The beat is so heavy. And the vocals are so pretty. I find myself, when I listen to this album, once again, like classic Beyonce listening experience, I want to just sit and bask in the gorgeous vocals, but I also want to bop and dance. So I'm constantly in this in-between. Like, do I just sit here and bask in what a masterpiece I feel like this album has become for me? Or do I dance? I don't know. It's really hard.
He just got paid, make it rain, energy, be waving.
That note is obviously one of the best vocal moments on the album for me. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. Tropez.
Look around, everybody on mute. Look around, it's me and my crew. Big energy.
Yeah, I'm still obsessed with that moment. That's one of my favorite parts of this song. Everybody on mute. And it goes mute for a second. Like, I can never get over stuff like that. It just rocks my world for some reason.
That's that Kodak energy.
And that camera go pop, 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 pop. Keep them waiting like that, 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 that. Ooh la la la. Didn't I Uzi that doozy? Shot, shot, shot. Minding our business, popping our paint and champagne through the ceiling.
I definitely was not sure how I felt about that whole section of the song the first time I listened to this album, but now I think it's really cool. It's really interesting. This.
Cause them Karens just turned into terrorists.
You was on stop mode,
That's yet another one of my favorite moments of this song. It's so ironic to me. It's so crazy to me that I have so many favorite moments of this album now, because the first time I listened, I was like, there's not a lot of favorite moments happening. And again, like that's happened to me so many different times with albums. I'll listen to an album the first time and genuinely dislike it. I hated Reputation by Taylor Swift the first time I heard it. And with more listens, like, I love that album now. And that's why I think it's so important to always give an album multiple listens and multiple tries. And this is what makes it hard to be a reactor and a commentator, because I never want to speak too soon before I've had a chance to really digest the album. This transition. The transitions between all of the songs on this album is unlike anything I've ever heard on an album. Truly, I've never heard an album that flows this well from song to song.
Baby is back and I'm sleeping real good at night. That Dom's in the back, ain't taking no flicks, but the whole click snapped. This I'll justify love. We go round in circles, searching for love.
That's also one of my favorite parts of this song, the vocals there. This next one is also such a grower. The first time I listened to it, I just could not register what was happening. It was just so everything that I was not expecting, but I really like this one. Now it like made its way to the top of my ranking, at least like in the first few songs. Church Girl, such a bop.
Oh, drop it like a thotty, drop it like a thotty. I say now pop it like a thotty, pop it like a thotty. Bad girl, acting naughty, church girl, don't hurt nobody.
That's my favorite moment of the song, when she says, "Don't hurt nobody." Yeah, I don't know if this is like as high as it was originally. I think it's a bop. I really enjoy it, but I don't know if I would rank it quite as high as I did in my first video. That's another one of my favorite parts of this song. I'm gonna bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it, back it up.
Swimming through the oceans of tears we cry. You know you got church in the morning. I know you can't help but to be yourself around me.
This one took many, many, many listens to grow on me, as far as like the melodies and everything, but I did appreciate the vocals. But I do enjoy this song now, and I think it is vocally my favorite on the album. There is just so many vocals going on that are so stunning that I cannot even wrap my mind around. It would be crazy to see this album live. I actually do want to see it live. Like, how are you gonna do those vocals live, Beyonce? It starts just really pretty. And then it's like,
It's the way you weigh your emotion, even though I'm cooler than you.
that's one of my favorite moments. Like, I'm cooler than you. Yeah, this one's really pretty. And again, just vocally so stunning and so soft, but it still has that beat behind it. You know, it's still a little upbeat. The runs on this song are absolute insanity. And I know I say runs a lot with her, and I'll continue to say it. See, this ending part and that part especially, just everything.
I like it, baby.
I've never heard anything like that. We're going into my favorite song on the album. I absolutely am obsessed with Virgo's Groove. It is still my #1 favorite on this album, and I think it is just so groovy. It is so flowy. It is 6 minutes long, but I never want to skip past it. And I can't say that for a lot of longer songs. Every moment of it is perfection for me. I just need people to understand. I may not be a Virgo, but I can still groove. It reminds me of her album Beyonce in a weird way. I don't know if anyone else gets that vibe. It just keeps flowing, it just keeps going, and it's everything to me. Like, Virgo's Groove, okay? You have my heart. Another thing on this album that I'm just realizing is all the different echoes. I really love her use of echoes on this album.
All those emotions.
It's like,
your hands so strong when they're gripping on me. I can see the light in you. Everybody wants somebody. I want you.
after like like listening to this album more, I definitely don't feel the aggressive vibe that I felt the first time I listened to it. I think I just needed to wrap my mind around the fact that she was like using stronger language on this album, and the sound was a bit more like punchy and in your face.
Yeah.
The yas in the back too, like
Baby, you're the love of my life.
I cannot even begin to express how much I love that song. It is just so in line with what I needed to hear from her. It is probably one of the best songs I've heard this year. The next one is Move. I kind of have to be in the mood for this one. When it hits, it hits.
Queen come true. Like the rest say.
Move out the way!
Yeah, you gotta move. Anything you do will be held against you.
That is my favorite part of this song. Anything you do will be held against you.
Me and my girlfriends came out to play. Fireworks and champagne, gentilly laced.
I really like that part as well. The flow of that and everything. Gentilly laced.
Watch my reflection of my face. Move out the way. I don't need no phone, yeah. I don't need to fall, yeah. You know me, I'm vibing.
This is where this song gets really next level for me. I really love this whole like ending part. I feel like the more this song goes on, the more I enjoy it. So I guess that's why I haven't gone back to it as much as some of the other songs. And at times it can be a little bit like, okay, like move out the way. Like, okay, I'm like, I need something a little bit softer at times.
Give me a little fire, give me a little flame, yeah. I want to make you shine.
So yeah, I do like that one. It's not like a top favorite, but I do enjoy it, especially like the more and more it goes on throughout the song. The next one is Heated, and this is another one that took many, many listens for me to really enjoy, but I love it now. It is probably one of my favorites now.
Got a lot of bands, got a lot of IP on me. I gotta fend myself off, I gotta fend myself off.
I absolutely love that melody. That's my favorite like aspect of this song. I love when a song starts and you immediately love it.
Gotta cool it down. It's been a lot of years. You must have mixed up our faces. Now you wanna have conversations. See how you testing my patience.
That's another one of my favorite parts of this song, when she says, "You're testing my patience." I don't know why, I just love that so much.
I gotta fend myself off.
I love that so much. The ending of this song is also absolute insanity, and it definitely also took a few listens to know how I felt about it. But I actually really like it now. I don't know what it is, but every time I listen to this album, I find something else that I love about it. And it truly, for me, does get better and better with every listen.
Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. Yummy, 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 make the bummy heat it. Yada, 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 bong, bong, ka, ka. Drinking my water, minding my biz. Flip, flop, flippy, flip, flopping ass bitch.
It's the way that I love the ending of this song now. It's so wild. It's so different. It's so, like, what? And I think that's what I would say about all of this album. It's very different. And at first, I didn't know that I liked the difference. I feel like I just understand this album more now. Obviously not to the full extent that I could. I'm always for an artist making the album that they want to make. Even if I don't like the album, even if I don't think it's their best album, it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, I think an artist should be making the art and the music that they want to make. The next one is Thick. I will be honest, this one has not grown on me. However, I have not listened to it as much as some of the other songs. I have not gone back to it as much.
Rags getting bigger.
I do like it though.
He thought he was loving me good. I told him go harder.
I love that melody. I do like this song, especially the one like kind of club moment beat that happens. It's not for me at the level of some of the other songs as far as like my personal music taste goes.
That's that thick. That's that jelly, baby.
I love the way that she says jelly baby. I just really love that.
That's that na-na, that oochie-coochie la-la. Yeah, that's that Fiji agua.
I absolutely am obsessed with this part of the song when it brings in that slightly more clubby beat and the Fiji agua. I just love the flow there.
That's that freak Nick. That's that 1996.
The beat.
She say she on the diet. dick.
That's another one of my favorite moments of this song. She said, you want to diet, but you better not lose that ass though. The way that she says that is just everything. She really has some really like fun, cool moments of inflection on this album. Damn!
That's that summer, that's them hummers, that's that girl, give me your number.
I love that.
That's that I don't do this usually, I don't know what you do to me. That
Okay. You know what? A formal apology with tears will be coming tomorrow. Because that part of the song is enough to make this one of my favorites on the album. The pockets on this album are insane. Like, there's so many good friggin' pockets of stuff happening at all times in this album. It's so diverse. Yet it all works, it all makes sense, it all goes together somehow in this crazy puzzle. It's like you have all the pieces of a puzzle and they don't look like they're gonna fit together. Like you're like, how? This one's red, this one's blue, this one's green. I don't know how this could possibly make a picture. But then it does. It does make a picture. It makes a beautiful picture. Okay. It's back to bopping.
look at this shit.
I just realized, but at the end of that song, she mentioned All Up in Your Mind as she was outroing, which is really cool, again, to see like how this album just connects and flows and grooves. It blows my mind that anyone could make an album that flows this well. Like, how are you gonna just do that? So I actually really like that. Okay, I actually do really love that song. Slowly, every song is becoming a song that I really love. But this next one is still at the bottom of my list. I still don't really care for it. You know, let's see. With headphones on, it might be a different experience. It feels like it's All Up in Your Mind's chance to shine and prove itself to me. Okay, so we're like taking off in a spaceship or something.
It stops the time, yeah, I stay here for a while. Think it's true, I just know I love you. Tell my mom that I do it for you.
I do like that. No, I'm sorry. I absolutely stand by what I said in my first video for that song. It's just not for me. That's not to say that I'm never going to like it or that I could never enjoy that song. But don't come for me, okay? It's just one person's opinion. The next, America Has a Problem. This is one that I feel like it goes back and forth between being at the top of my ranking and not being at the top of my ranking. I like that. Yeah, like this one goes hard. Yeah, like the bass and the beat and the ooh.
You got that deep for me. Pretty love is deep for me. Make you wait a whole week for me. Know you need it, drug lord.
You know you want it, drug lord. I never anticipated that that would be one of my favorite moments, but it really is. I adore this one sonically. It definitely still is one of my favorites. It's so good. Like, I feel like people are sleeping on this song, okay? And that's fine. Well, not really.
Know that booty gon' do what it wants to. Can't hit it one time, multiple. 20, 40, 80 out the trap. Hit it with the rap, put it on the map. You can't get no higher than this.
No. I still just absolutely adore that part where she says no. I remain absolutely obsessed with that one. I don't know, that's just one of the coolest and most fun to me sonically. Every melody, every production element for me is just perfection. The next one, Pure Honey. I have not gone back to this one, hardly at all. Just because, again, it was one of the ones that I didn't care for at first. So I'm interested to see, you know, if this is gonna be all up in your mind or thick. You know what I mean?
Check my technique. Bad bitches
To the left. I don't dislike this song as much as I did the first time I heard it, but it's still just, for me, is not really my thing. But I remember I really loved the second part of this song, like the middle to end. So I'm curious.
3, 2, fucking busy. That's my technique.
The beat goes hard.
But she make it look easy cause she got it. Pretty hair will give you pleasure.
This part, though, still.
Once you give me hyped up, baby, I won't stop.
Yeah, so this one, okay, this is gonna be controversial, but Pure Honey for me is still a skip just because I don't love it as an entire song. I do love certain parts of the song, but the last track, Summer Renaissance, this was one of my favorites on the first listen, and I'm trying to remember if it still is. Ooh, that's so cool with the headphones.
And I take you all the way, you sexy motherfucker. Boy, you going on me.
This is still one of my favorites.
It's so good, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good.
Yeah, I still am just obsessed with this one. Like, this, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good. This little moment too. I like that. Like, that's, I don't know, there's something about it. It's really cool and unique to me. I am really, really glad that I decided to film this video because it just confirmed I do love this album now. It has taken multiple listens. It has taken a lot. For me, there are still 2 skips. As far as I'm concerned, I would still skip All Up in Your Mind and Pure Honey. And I know that's gonna be controversial, but that's just one girl's opinion. But every other song is a song that I would listen to and really love and enjoy. I have just more appreciation and respect for this album, knowing more about it and just, yeah, just seeing the depths of it. It's so intricate. It really is so intricate. There's no way that you can process it all after like 1 listen or 10 listens. Like, I'm still processing this album. I guess I'll give like an updated album ranking as to how I would rank it right at this moment. You never know how the ranking's gonna evolve, but it really hit different with the headphones. So I'm really glad that I decided to listen to this with the headphones. I noticed too, like when I listen to this album on my phone versus my computer, when I listen to it on my phone, it's like, why even bother? Like, you just do not hear it the same. Listen, this is by no means my favorite Beyonce album. It probably remains lower on the list, at least right now. You know, that's just where I'm at with it. And I'm always gonna keep it honest. I'm never gonna lie. I truly think it is so masterfully done. It just feels like she really mastered her craft, which we already knew she had mastered it, but she's mastered it on a different level with this album for me. So yeah, but as far as like my personal music taste goes, I still do probably prefer some of her other albums. But I'm a big believer that music is subjective, and even if this album had not grown on me, and even if it has not grown on you and you hate it, that is valid. Thank you for watching. If you did watch this was really fun. I'm really glad that I decided to do this. Feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.